Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I would like to say thank you to our teacher, Ma'am Nika, who has allowed us to present our group work. Okay, let me introduce myself and my partner. My name is Zahwa, name 62, and my partner are Rofiq, name 61, Afrido, Rizki, name 63, and the last Nadia, Jovita, name 64. We are from group Pacioli AM6C.
My name is Nadia Jovita. I want to explain about chart, graph, and table. First, line graph. With the title, the numbers of student boy were filed the next grade at Riau Island Province Elementary School. This chart illustrates the numbers of student boy were filed the next grade of elementary school between 2016 and 2020 at Riau Island Province. Overall, the numbers of student boy were filed next grade of elementary school between 2016 and 2020 at Riau Island Province seem to be decreasing during this time period. The numbers of student boy were filed the next grade of elementary school at Riau Island Province began at 1,863 in 2016, after which the figure increased steadily to 1,901 in 2017. In 2018, there was a drop to 1,752. Then it decreased slightly 1,606 in 2019. There was a significant decline to only one boy was filed the next grade in 2020. And the second is bar chart. This bar chart is about the number of students repeat the level of the primary school of the Riau Islands province. Education is a mandatory right to every human being and accepts decent education, which is the government's duty to meet the needs of the community. The government, met by the profitability of Indonesia's education, is not quite good. Can be seen from the community index that pursued the high education. Here are data taken from 2016 to 2020 on elementary school students who repeat the education in the province of Riau Islands. The result received in 2016 until 2019, students repeat at the elementary school rate of more than 2,000 students should repeat his education. 2017 to touch the highest number of 2,724 students. The government's effort we can see from the diagram above. From 2018 to 2020, there is a decline. So, at the end 2020, data recorded 5 students from the province of Riau Islands who repeat the education at the elementary school level. The third is pie chart, with the title Number of Dropout by Class in Indonesia. As we know, there are different types of diagrams, such as bar chart, line chart, and pie chart. A pie chart is a diagram that shows data or the result of numbers in the form of a circle. Usually, pie charts are often used to find out the comparison of the total amount according to the topic being discussed. This time, the topic to be discussed is the number of students dropping out of public or private schools in Indonesia in 2020 or 2021. In the pie chart above, which is sourced from actual data, it can be seen that the largest number of students dropping out of school is grade 6, and the smallest is grade 3 in 2020 or 2021. Economy, low interest in going to school, lack of parental attention, less supportive learning facilities, cultural factors, and very remote locations. And the last is table, with the title, The Number of Female Repeat Students by Level in Riau Island Province. In the table above, the data has been divided into significant groups. This makes it easier to understand and explain. From the table above, it can be seen that during the last 5 years from 2016 to 2020, it has decreased. The number of female test students by level in the Riau Island Province began with a total of 730 in 2016. The highest number was in 2017 with a total of 774. Then it continued to decline and there was a drastic decline with a total of only 2 students who filed move up to the next level in 2020.
Okay, I'm Zahwa and I will present chapter 2 about multiple chart, process, and map. Multiple chart. Multiple chart provides options for creating multiple charts. The charts can be of the same or different types and can include different variables from the same dataset. Process. As we know, the main function of a flowchart is to describe to the course of a program from one process to another. Thus, the flow of the program becomes easy from everyone to understand. In addition, another function of flowchart is to simply a series of procedure to facilitate understanding of the information. The description of the procedure in the standard operating procedure legalized elementary school certificate is flowchart above the start with the applicant submitting a legalized file in the form of an original certificate and a statement of absolute responsibility. After that, the officer will examine the legalized files. After conduction, the inspection, the officer returns to file the applicant if it doesn't meet the requirement. However, if they meet the requirements, they will proceed to the administrative field to the legalization step on the photocopy file. Furthermore, the signing of the file which will be legalized by the secretary or the authorized head of the field. After that, the officer records in the legalized notebook and submit the legalized file to the applicant. Next, map. The map above can show the location. As we know, the map can show everything in place we looking for. So in this map, the map above can show the location of public elementary school in Tanjung Sukwang. There are 3 school buildings on the map above, namely Stage Elementary School 001, 003, and 004. Others such as mini market and ATM center, and military navy headquarters. 003 Public Elementary School is located across from Indomaret.
My name is Afrido Rizki Akbari, NIM for 111 901063. I will explain the chapter 3 is a summary of proofreading. Proofreading is the reading of a gallery proof or an electronic copy of a publication to find correct repudiation errors of the text or art. Proofreading is the final step in the editorial cycle before publication. Summary of proofreading. What is proofreading? Proofreading, as we know, is an activity of checking or correcting writing errors in writing work. Why we need to do it? So that we can produce good, correct, and relevant writing. What are the steps in proofreading activity? 1. Do not rely on spelling and grammar checker. 2. Proofread for one error at a time. 3. Read each word slowly. 4. Divide the text into manageable chunks. 5. Circle punctuation marks. 6. Read the writing backward. And last 7. Note the error you make on frequent basis. Next, the following are important terms in proofreading. 1. Important corrections to correct improper use of verb. 2. Correct the improper use of nouns. 3. Error in uppercase and lowercase letters. 4. Error in sentence structure. 5. Correction is important to get errors in the subject-verb agreement. Thank you very much. Next, I will explain chapter 4. It's a difference and similarities between scientific report and business report. Scientific report or scientific writing, they're compiled based on data after the author conducted experiment, writing, observed, or read scientific journal. While business report is an official document, the content factual company data information, such as statistical data, research, or other data, form of information that are accurate and relevant in relation to business report. Next, I will explain the characteristic of scientific report and business report. The characteristic of scientific report are as follows. 1. Referring to the theory, which is then used as the basis for thinking in the discussion of the problem. 2. Using straightforward language, which is not emotional. 3. Logical, because it's arranged in consistent order and according to the result of the study. 4. Effective, because it's made concise and solid. 5. Efficient, very carefully in causing word and going straight to the discussion on main discussion. 6. Objective or based on fact, presented in scientific paper on the result or research that can be proven. And last 7. Systematic, because the preparation follow the writing standard. Right? Next, I will explain the characteristic of business report are as follows. 1. Understandable. User must be able to understand business report and their form, writing, and term. 2. Relevant. Business report must provide information that can be used as a basis for decision making. 3. Reliability. User must be able to enter data into business report appropriately to avoid material error. 4. Comparability. Business report can be compared with other business reports. I will explain the difference between these two reports, the different and scientific report and business report. They are different in terms of meaning or understanding and also different in the aim and objective of each report.
Next, brochure and poster. A poster is a work of art or graphic design that contains a composition of pictures and letters on large paper. Brochures are not periodical publications that may consist of one to a small number of pages, are unrelated to other publications, and are completed in one publication. Poster and brochure are a means of promoting goods or service. The goal is for the wider community to recognize, buy, and use the product offered. As one of the promotional media, poster and brochure have several differences. Namely, 1. The difference between poster and brochure can be seen from their use, namely by displaying poster while brochure are distributed directly to readers. 2. Poster prioritize striking design and the use of concise sentence. Brochure feature detailed information about a product, organization, or company. 3. Usually, poster have a larger size than brochure. Poster are not folded, whereas brochure can be folded. While the similarities between brochure and poster are that they are both a means of promotion and information on goods or service, so that the public or the general public knows and buys and uses the product or service offered. This picture is an example of brochure, and this is an example of poster.
I will explain Chapter 6 about translation tools MemoQ. MemoQ is proprietary computer-aided translation software suite that runs in the Microsoft Windows operating system. MemoQ is a translation software that can be downloaded on the internet. MemoQ is Tool Translation Aid or Computer-Aided Translation Tools or CAT tools. Remember, tools, just like laptop, dictionaries, or book on translation, and maybe insert triplet like in my house. Briefly and simply, its function is to help save the result of our translation so that it can be reused if there are similarity in the material. In addition to saving the translation result, this program also helps our translation to be consistent and to minimize typo because they can perform quality assurance or QA check. They are individual translator, translation team, translation company, and business. Well, for the next chapter is chapter 7. Indonesian is common mistake in translating into English. First, slang. In Indonesian language, dia nyuekin pacarnya. When we use Google Translate, he is flirting with his girlfriend, but this is incorrect. The correct is she is giving him the cold shoulder. The second is sarkas. In Indonesian language, entah terbiasa, entah mati rasa, disia-siakan pun seolah-olah hal biasa. When we use Google Translate, it's gonna be whether you are used to it or you are numb, it waits as if it is normal. This is incorrect. The correct is either you are used to it or you are numb. Even if you are ignored, it is normal. The next is idiom and expression. In Indonesian language, gulung tikar. Incorrect. Out of business. Correct is closed down. And the second example is kamu ada-ada aja. Incorrect. Are you there? Correct is you are really something. The next is compound words. Compound words fall within 3 categories, and it's not unusual to find the same word in more than one group. Here are the 3 types of compound word with an explanation. First, close compound word. The example is fireworks, together, crosswalk, baseball, basketball, football, and many others. And the second is open compound words. There is ice cream, cave-in, full moon, half-sister, grand jury, and the others. And then the last one is hyphenate compound. There is daughter-in-law, mother-in-law, one-third, well-being, and the others. The next is word order. Word order in sentence. Incorrect sentence. I was in Leipzig shopping. Correct sentence. I was shopping in Leipzig. Because main verb before place. And the second example. Incorrect sentence. He played yesterday football. Correct sentence. He played football yesterday. Or yesterday he played football. Because place before expression of time. Word order in question. Incorrect question. Play you football or handball? Correct question. Do you play football or handball? Because start the question with the auxiliary do. Second example. Incorrect question. When did you yesterday see Peggy? Correct question. When did you see Peggy yesterday? Because of put the expression of time yesterday at the end of the question. The next is numerical text. Error in representing number. Incorrect example. 14 locations were chosen for the street measurement. This is using number. The correct is 14 locations were chosen for the street measurement. But if you want to use number, there is alternative revision. We choose 14 locations for the street measurement. Lack of space between numerals and unit. We can see the incorrect example. First, 10 milli of the sample was added to the reaction mixture. We can see the 10 milli, there is no space between numerals and unit. The correct is we have to use space between numerals and unit. The next is punctuation. First, introductory words, phrases, and clauses are followed by a comma. Incorrect example. Moreover, students are expected to read at least one English classic every 6 weeks. The correct example, moreover, comma, students are expected to read at least one English classic every 6 weeks. Moreover is an introductory word and should be followed by a comma. Next is non-essential information is set off with comma. Incorrect example, Joseph Conrad, who was born in Poland, began to learn English in his 20s. Correct example, Joseph Conrad, who was born in Poland, began to learn English in his 20s. Who was born in Poland is a clause that provides non-essential information and should be set off by comma. The next is essential information does not require comma. Incorrect example, the boys who vandalized the public gardens are in police custody. The correct example, the boys who vandalized the public gardens are in police custody. Who vandalized the public gardens is essential information because it identifies which boys are mean. It should not be set off by comma. The next is structural. Definition of structural. First, relating to the physical makeup of a plant or animal body structural. Second, relating to or affecting structural stability. And used in building structural clay, and involved in or caused by structure, especially of the economy structural unemployment. Third, relating to or resulting from the effect of folding or faulting of the earth crust or tectonic. And the last one is concerned with or relating to structure rather than history or comparison structural linguistics. The next is language intents. John, example, do not add utterances in which the only variation is uppercase or lowercase. Do, example, do add at least 15 until 20 utterances per journey. Grammatical error. Incorrect example, my smartwatch doesn't move at all. The correct example is my smartwatch isn't running. The next is style or tone. Example, incorrect. According to the data presented, the journal of adjustment was noted at the end of moon. Correct. According to the data presented, the journal of adjustment was recorded at the end of the months. The next is gender-specific word. Example, incorrect. Ratna has participated in the selection of the student council president and she was elected chairman. The correct example, Ratna has participated in the selection of the student council president and she was elected chair.
That's all about our presentation. Thank you for your listening. May all that we have shared be beneficial for all of us. Sorry for our mistake, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.